But first we have to think about what we actually need. We need some kind of screwdriver-like object. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a circle. We're going to set the vertices to 8, and then we move it up. Then we go to edit mode, we press 1 for vertex select mode, and we choose these points. Then we press S to scale it, and I'm moving all the points inward so we can get this shape. And now we press A, E, Z to extrude the whole thing on the Z axis downwards, and now we have this selection below. Then we press F to fill up the bottom of this object, and then we select one of the top edges again, we press Q for edge loops, and then we press F to fill the top end as well. And now we have kind of a screwdriver that we can use to create a hole in here, so to speak. Of course, we have to set the correct size, and for this we need to go to the top view just to see how it looks here. It's still a bit big at the moment, however I also think that our circle in the middle is generally too small. In order to create more space for this, I will now go back to our main cup. We press Q, we go for edge loops, we press S, and we scale it all up a bit. Then we have our object here, which we can now make a little larger here as a whole. And we're moving our straw screwdriver down into the cup. Now the way we want to approach this is we want to stick this screwdriver form all the way down here in such a way that when we press the subtract button, this geometry will create a hole based on this geometry. And we really got to be sure that it goes all the way through, that it's not somewhere stuck halfway or that it only takes like a tiny bit or whatever. Okay, enough about the theory, let's go to the practice. What we need is the Boolean Modifier, and you can find that on the right here under the Generate tab, and the default already says difference, which is exactly the mode we need. Now, we can actually just click on it with the eyedropper tool and then select the object, which could actually be called a screwdriver or something, whatever name you think works. Click, and now you can already see our new geometry has been created right here. And the great thing about this is that we can now continue to work non-destructively. You can see the computer has a bit of a hard time with this. So this would be the result if our screwdriver has been up too high. It cuts a bit through the sides, but it doesn't cut all the way through. Now, let's move this thing down on the Z axis, and we can also disable it here now. And now we have this hole where our straw can go through. Okay, but now you see the hole, you're like, okay, we got a hole, that's pretty good, but it still looks shitty. Well, if you've been listening, you can now figure things out for yourself a little bit, and you know that we can edit this with proportional editing as well. So first of all, we're going to apply the Boolean modifier exactly as it is now, and what we're going to do is we're going to press Command A over the modifier again. Bam! Now it is applied, and it's perfect. It's just the way we want it. We can now also delete our funny screwdriver shape here again, and also save the project from time to time, because that helps a lot as well. And as I said before, we now want to make sure that these points are actually pointing downwards. So we select the 4 points in the middle here. We want to check that we have proportional editing still activated, and we press G, Z, and we want to be sure that we are in the right mode. Now, the mode we need for this is sharp. We still have to lead all this downwards, so to speak. So what we can do now is pull the whole thing down on a smaller scale with the sharp mode. And then we can basically press G, Z again, increase the radius a bit, and you can see that the tips are being pulled down, but everything is being pulled down along with it. Now, everything doesn't look too bad at all, but it's far too symmetrical when viewed from above. Like, this is not realistic. We don't want a mathematically perfect cup. And the way we can fix this is by turning the radius up and down. Now we're going to select a few faces here so we can deform it a bit more manually, and that actually removes that perfection. And now we want to put this middle part back together into one cohesive whole with our main cup, so we select all the objects and we press Command J to join everything.